There are a number of volunteer positions posted. And I hope you're enjoying your dinner, your conversation with your table mates. We have a speaker this evening that Syed is going to introduce. And so I'll pass it over to Syed.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Syed. I am part of the professional development team working with NGO. Today I am going to briefly introduce our speaker, Dr. Mahmood, who is specially flown in from Saskatoon. So thank you very much for that. And Dr. Khan has been, okay, I wrote something about Dr. Mahmood Khan because he has a lot of skills. He has authored 3 books on business continuity, SDLC, and learning strategies. Dr. Khan has been recognized for his lectures and consulting services in the areas of leadership, strategic planning, project and change management, as well as Lean Sigma. And the list goes on. Without any further ado, I'm going to ask Dr. Mahmood to please come on the stage. Please welcome Dr. Mahmood Khan.
I'm glad I finished my year early.
Can you hear me well? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mahmood. The topic of my discussion tonight is going to be leadership within the context of project management. So, what's the leadership? I usually run my sessions sort of like introductory sessions. I'm not sure if that's visible tonight. But feel free to jump in any time, and I think we'd like to make these sessions more interactive. I ask something, you ask something, so we just go together as one team. That's exactly that's the essence of project management. Leadership. When it comes to leadership, it comes from one word, and that is the word of lead. Now, if I'm leading something, I would probably consider myself as a leader because I'm leading. But one thing is very, very important here. When I'm leading something, I need to have a followers. Otherwise, who am I leading? There is a saying that perhaps leaders are those people who are by title considered as leaders, like chair people, presidents, VPs, these kind of people whose title sounds like a leader. So, should we really believe that indeed those people are the only leaders and none other than those titles could be leader? So, is the leadership a title, or it's essentially a set of certain qualities which work together and then we consider, yes, that's leadership in action. So, that's what we will basically touch upon tonight. Leader is another word for boss. Those who believe, yes, it's true, can you please raise your hand? Good. You are good people. Okay. It reminds me of a quotation of quote from Socrates. He said, a group of donkeys led by a lion, it can very easily defeat a group of lions led by a donkey. That sounds pretty strange. Because a group of lions, there are lots of lions in here. However, it's just one person who is leading that group. Whereas, we see lots of donkeys moving around. Actually, I'm not against donkey or not in favor of lion. So please, so animals support group, please keep it away. So I'm just choosing it as a term. So, group of lions, lots of lions, only one individual who is leading that group happens to be donkey. Whereas we have lots of long lines, lots of donkeys, and only one individual who happens to be alive. And that group can easily defeat the group of donkeys led by group of lions led by a donkey. Why is that? It means that one individual who is sitting at the top of that vertical, that individual needs to have certain qualities. The person needs to have certain personality traits. And those personality traits, those qualities essentially make that person capable of taking the people together and defeat the similar people but led by the donkey. So that's what we will see tonight. What is it that the individual needs to have? No matter how good or how bad or how ineffective team he's leading, but essentially he will or she will basically lead the team to glory and success. So what are those personality traits that a person must have? And this is what we will basically touch upon tonight. So leadership, and this is how I look at it. Leadership is more like a beauty. If I ask someone, what is beauty? I'm sure there'll be hundreds of thousands of words that you could describe. But no single word can truly define the beauty. Beauty is a feeling. Beauty is something that you look, you feel good. Beauty is something that you look and you feel, I would like to be that. Beauty is a benchmark. You look at that and you say, yes, I wish I was like that. So in the same context, leadership is something you look at and you say, you know what? I want to be like that leader. When I was small, I used to think, when I grow up, I would be like that person. But as I grew up, things changed. So from that person to this person, from this person to that person, things change. If you talk about any other kid, they would definitely say, yes, I like to be that. What is that thing? When someone says, I want to be like that person, I want to be like that sports person, I want to be like that political figure, I want to be like that statesman. Because there are certain qualities of that individual that when we look at the person, we say, I want to be like that person. Why? Because those quality factors, those personality traits are the things which basically take my attention. And I say, yes, I want to be like that person. That means I'd like to hold the same kind of qualities, same kind of recognition. So this is why we say leadership is like your beauty. You look at it, you feel good, you like to be like that.
But again, it's a perception as well, like leadership or beauty, right? I would be seeing a leadership qualities as something I feel is a good leader, and another person might be feeling it.
Very good.
Right? It's a perception.
I think it's a great point. I'm glad that you said that. Now, leadership, yes, it's a perception. The way I look at something does not always mean the other person look at the same thing which is the same, same context. It could be different. This is why if I want to be leader, I like to have those qualities, those personality traits within myself that I want all of my followers look at me with the same eye. They should consider me in the same manner. And that's what the leadership is. Yes, please.
Isn't leadership all about achievement? If the person is suited for leadership, isn't being beauty? Exactly. For this, for our group.
Absolutely. Achievements, yes, that's one of those personality traits that person should have. It just so happens that most of the people, they make decisions based on emotions. I like that person because of certain factors. Those factors could be political factors, could be social factors, could be some other factors. And since I feel there is a similarity between what I like and what this person has, so I accept that person as my leader. So the leadership is this one. It talks about what. It does not talk about how. And I will tell you why I say that. So leadership is basically prediction. So what happens is that if I am an effective leader, if I am a leader, it depends how far can I see in the future. And that's what we call strategic thinking. So the leader is a person who has the ability to predict the future, who looks beyond the visible and say, you know what, based upon what we are doing, this is what could happen. So basically, the leadership is a person who looks at yesterday, who looks at the past, and say, you know what is it that we did that we shouldn't have done? And what is it that we didn't do that we should have done? You know, rational analysis. And based upon yesterday, he or she will fix only today. We have not seen tomorrow. Nobody can see tomorrow what happens. The only thing that is in our hands is just today. I can tell you what I have today. I cannot tell you what will happen tomorrow. However, what I would consider yesterday what happened, learning from yesterday, fix by today, and then I would definitely expect and hope that tomorrow will be better than yesterday because I have fixed today. And that's the basic lesson of leadership. I give you a small story which will actually basically talk about this thing more. But before I go to strategic thinking this story, let me tell you another story. Because we are active in Middle East and some other parts of the world as well. So I remember once I was sitting in Saudi Arabia with one of the senior executives there. And they have a system whereby they have a team wide. The person's duty and responsibility is to prepare the tea and coffee for the guests of the executive. So he told me a story. Do you need any help? Yeah. Okay. Can you see that? Okay. So essentially what happens, and I will be very fast on this one. So what happens is that a tea boy came to his manager. And please listen to this story very carefully. It has lots of messages in there. So the tea boy came to his boss and said, you know what? Would you allow me to go out to do the shopping for the kitchen facility? You know, for tea and sugar and all this kind of supplies in the kitchen. I need to buy those things over the weekend. So give me the money so I can go and buy the stuff. And the manager told him, and this is a true story by the way. Manager told him, it just so happened about half an hour ago, I was in the kitchen and I thought everything was fine. There was enough supplies in here, so why would you like to go and buy more stuff? Now this tea boy, who is sort of poor guy sitting at the very lowest end of the hierarchy, he said, look, based upon my experience, the quantity that we're left with is good enough for only 2 days. So come Saturday, which happens the first weekday for that, I will be able to serve your guests only for Saturday and Sunday. So comes Monday, I don't have anything. And since that's a weekday, so it will be very difficult for me to go out and buy the stuff. So the manager, he said, yes, that's a good idea, go and buy it. Now, if you analyze the situation, what do we learn? This poor guy who we always consider sitting at the lowest end of the hierarchy, this person has exercised analytical skills. He analyzed the situation. This person, he presented his viewpoint in a way that his manager was able to understand. This person, he looked beyond the visible and he predicted what would happen if they did not fix today. So this person, he has exercised all those skills and qualities that we usually attach to the person, chairperson, the president, or vice president. We say they are the leaders. This person has in fact exercised all the leadership qualities, and that's why he was able to convince his boss that this is the time to do something. If we don't do anything today, we will be in trouble comes after 2-3 days time. So that means what's a leadership? Leadership is not attached to the title. Leadership is set of qualities. Leadership sets a certain principle that if we follow those principles, if we adhere to those qualities, then we could consider ourselves as leaders. So leadership is not attached to a title, it's attached to the qualities and the personal traits. Now I tell you this small story which I found it on the internet, and it's really cool, very good story. There was a businessman, and maybe some of you may have already read this story. If you did, don't ask me question. Businessman was talking with his barber, and then they both Notice this goofy-looking fellow bouncing down the sidewalk. The barber told me, usually when we go to barber shop, these people, they have habit of talking. Keep talking while they're cutting the hair. They're talking with you. So this guy, he whispered and he said, you know that guy who is just playing outside, on the street? Look, I'm going to show you something very nice. So this barber, he called that boy, he said, come inside. So this guy came inside, this small boy, and the barber offered him 2 coins. One, a dime, and a quarter. The dime was very rusted, and the quarter was very shiny, looking like a gold. So he said, take it, take one, what do you want? I'm sure if he offered me this thing, I would say quarter, number one, is a high denomination, and plus it's very nice, crystal clear, good. I would rather take quarter. Whereas the dime is very rusty, so I would rather leave dime. This is what I would probably do. But this guy, what he did, he took the dime. So this guy, businessman who was sitting there, he was kind of surprised. That what is going on? We offered him 2 coins, one rusted, one's nice, and he took the one which was rusted. Okay, and that's dime. So businessman, he was surprised. Anyway, fine. So when he finished off his job, he stepped out of the shop and he stopped by the guy. He said, come, can I ask you a question? He said, sure, tell me. He said, when you were offered 2 coins, you decided to go for the one which was rusted, even though it was low denomination dime, not the quarter. Why did you do that? And read this one. Last time. After he did this is the part of the Tommy asked him why he chose the dime. He said, if I took that quarter, the game is over. Why it happened? Because this was a habit of the barber. Just to prove on his point, he would always offer him dime and quarter, dime and quarter, dime and quarter, just to prove to his customer that how silly this guy is. But actually that guy was much smarter than barber. Because with 5 customers, he made 5 dimes. He made 50 cents. If he had taken 1 quarter, the game is over. So this is what the leadership is all about. Leadership is a set of qualities. You do what you see and what you think. You think beyond the visible. Okay. Now let's look at very quickly on the management. Now, the word management, and then I'll be putting them all together. As I said, the leadership comes from the word lead. So I need to lead something. Similar to the word management comes from the word manage. Suppose if you ask me to meet with you somewhere, and I know because of the time of the day, the traffic and everything, it will be extremely difficult for me to meet with you at that time. So I would probably plan ahead. Either I get a taxi or I just take my car, I leave my home earlier, whatever means I use, and I meet with you at the right time that you asked me to meet with you. And then you will ask me, how did you manage to come here on time? You use the word manage. Because manage means that you have certain goals that you want to achieve, and achieving those goals in the straight path is not possible. So you will maneuver. If I need to go to this table, I cannot just keep walking. I would rather just take a couple of steps, and I see this obstacle, then I make a decision. Should I go left? Or I should rather take a right turn. Which one is convenient, which one is easier, which one is the shortest way to reach to that table. So when the manager comes to me and says, you know what, my life is terrible, and I say, you know what, you should be very happy. Because that's why you're a manager. You need to be able to maneuver to achieve the goal. That means you need to be able to understand what is your goal, how to reach the goal, maneuver, take your team with you, and achieve the goal, then you're a manager. So the management comes from the word manage. If you are able to manage, you are a manager. Okay? So by the way, this is the how part. So there are 4 elements which we usually use when we amalgamate management with the leadership. The first one is planning. You decide, you think what you need to achieve and what's the best way to achieve that. That's the planning part. Then organizing. You basically put all your tools and resources together in a manner that you can definitely achieve your goal. That's called organization. You lead them, and you basically make sure you control them to follow it up, and that's all those four things together, that's management. Now, how much time are you left with?
30 minutes.
30 minutes more? Good. Okay, so basically, when you look at the people, accept the leader from different angles. Usually it comes from the power. So the power could be your legitimate power. You will say, well, I am your manager. I'm your manager. This is a power. I am given this power. So exercise this power. So you consider me, you take me as a boss, as a leader, that because I have that power. It could be your reward. I have the authority to give you performance bonus. That means you better take me as your manager, as a leader, because I have something that I can give it to you. So that's more like, being greedy, you're just creating some greediness. That could be one. It could be smart power. That I have a certain knowledge which you would probably need. And I can always discharge that, share that knowledge with you to help you out in your career. So that could be another power hub. So when I look at that person, I say, yes, that person has a certain knowledge which I need in my career. So I should rather take that person with me. So essentially, you have the managers who are not leaders. What does it mean? It means I am able to achieve the goal. I do the thing, but I may not have the team with me. I have the guts, I have the capabilities, I have the capabilities, I have the ability to achieve certain goals, but that's my own individual capability. I'm not able to take my team with me. So that is a manager without leadership skills. It could be the people, it could be the people who are leaders but not the managers. I make the person who can see beyond the visible. I can think strategically. However, I'm not the person who can make it happen. In fact, once I was thinking, I was driving on the road and I found some people, of course we always see and daily we see those people, they're like digging the ground. It may be 40 degrees temperature, it could be minus 25 temperature, it could be very hot, it could be very cold. But these poor guys, they are just doing the work on the road. They could be digging the road, they could be doing all kind of stuff, lots of sweat, okay? Yet, at the end of the day, they get $10 an hour, okay? At the same time, I see a person passing by in a very nice looking car, very sophisticated, very, I don't want to name the car because that's not good, but a very, very nice car with all kinds of facilities and luxuries provided in the car. And the person is wearing nice suit with nice necktie. He passes by and he's making maybe $100,000 a month. And he goes to the office, probably somebody came to open the door for him. He goes to the top floor. He sits in a very big room, which is like my dining room, but that's his office. And he sits in there, and he spends 3-4 hours, and he makes millions of dollars every month. So what's going on? This person has all the luxuries of his life. He makes really good income. And there are people who are working on the road, doing all kind of physical work with lots of sweat, yet at the end of the day, they take only $70, $80, and even though they are still content, but this is what they do. You know what? It's a message in there. It means we get paid for this thing. We get paid how good we are in our decision taking, how good we are in planning, how good we are in strategic thinking. This is what we get paid for. Imagine if today I make the wrong decisions, I led my people to the wrong direction. Tomorrow my company is going to kick me out and say, this is not why we have you in our company for. So that means the money in the sociology, social environment is attached to the decision part, is attached to the thinking part, is not attached very much to the physical thing. So that supports the concept of leadership. The leadership, if you are a good leader of the company, you basically take the company to glory. You create lots of projects. You bring more business and you let those people feed their families back home only because your company is on the right track and will do the right business. But if one person sitting up there on the 18th floor, if that person doesn't do a good job, the entire vertical down there will definitely collapse. So leadership is not the title. Leadership is how strategically you can think. Leadership is how strong you are in the team building. Leadership is how actually you basically take the people, make sure they understand what are the goals, and you take them with you. That's what the leadership is all about. So there is a possibility you have some managers, but they have some leadership qualities as well. And you have the leaders who have some management qualities, but there are some good people who have both qualities. They have the management leadership. Now, one question, like what came first, chicken or egg? Similar thing is always a question that we discuss. Should leader be a manager? And vice versa. If I could ask a couple of you to tell me, should leader be a manager? Is it must? Only yes or no? Is it must a leader should be a manager? Anybody who says yes? I like that. Okay. Yeah, good, thanks. So essentially, manager is a person who makes it happen. Leader is a person who thinks. For example, there is one story which I'm sure most of you, if not all, we know that. Once a person went to a mechanic and he said, you know what, my car, I can't turn my ignition on. Said, there seems to be something wrong with my car. Can you please check what's wrong? He said, let me check. He looked in there, he twisted one cable. He said, come, try. So the guy, he turns the key on and the car is good. And the car owner, he said, wow, that's a magic. So just on ethical grounds, he asked that mechanic. He said, do you want some money? He said, yes, I do. He said, okay, how much? $100. So now the guy, he said, are you crazy? You didn't do anything, not even 30 seconds. And you're asking for $100? You just twisted one cable. And you're asking for $100? I could have done that. It's only $1 job. And the mechanic, he said, yes sir, indeed, you're right. It's a $1 job. But 99 to think which cable to twist. Exactly. So that's what the leadership is all about. You think how to utilize your resources. Utilization of resources is a management job. But the leadership is you think how to use your resources. Take them to glory. That's what the leadership is all about.
So you're saying a manager doesn't think how to use resources?
I'm sorry?
You're saying that a manager does not think how to use the resources?
Good point. Manager with the leadership qualities does have the knowledge to use the resources. So leadership, see, I could be finance manager, I could be project manager, I could be IT manager, I could be ABC manager. But have you ever heard I'm IT leadership? Never. Have you ever heard, there's a finance leadership or leader? No. Because leadership is not a title, my friends. Leadership is a set of qualities and the personality traits. If you have it, you are a leader. You are a walking leader. Our management needs to have the leadership qualities. And going back to your question, sir, manager should have leadership qualities. That's why he or she will be an effective, successful manager. Yes, sir.
How does an effective manager then figure out how to use their resources if they don't have foresight and vision to execute the work properly?
And I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying the manager should have the qualities of a leader. He or she should have leadership qualities. Thereby, the person is capable to utilize the resources. And we will touch upon this one more details.
So I'm saying that managers, good managers, do have leadership qualities.
Good managers have good leadership skills, but a leader is not necessarily a good manager. That's the point. Okay. Now coming to your point, some managers function as leaders. That's what we were discussing just now, a few seconds back. So some managers function as leaders and they fit within the definition potential management. See, however, there are some individuals they are separate. You may look at the manager and say, you know what, this person is not very effective. Why? Because this individual does not seem to have leadership qualities. So maybe for a few days you can survive, but not forever. However, at the same time, there are some managers, they have good leadership qualities. Okay. Now let's do a little, very brief comparison, because there is something which I really want to discuss in more details, and I'm trying to rush to that slide. So, a leader and a manager. For example, in a regional management is copy. You keep repeating, don't take this copy in a negative sense. You keep repeating because you are a doer, you are a doer. You keep doing it and the leader keep thinking. It's like the same thing, which cable to twist and somebody comes and twist the cable. So that's the difference between these two. So I will just go quickly on this one. Okay, so is there anything? Yeah. Leadership skill. There are certain skills that we all agree on that. Basically, the leader is a person who motivates his or her people. They basically they create enthusiasm. They create some excitement within their team. They make their people feel proud to what they are doing. If I'm not capable of making my people feel proud to what we are doing, then I'm not a leader. And we will be taking this thing to project management as we all are. You need to stick to the truth. Listen more than you speak. I have seen so many people in my life, and in fact, if you go and talk with my wife, say, tell us one thing about your husband, she will say, he speaks too much. What can I do? Sometimes there are some personality traits, but then you should be able to listen, because only then you can comprehend. Imagine if I did not hear you well, if I did not understand your question, how would I be able to give you a logical and sensible answer? So everything starts from listening, comprehension, processing, delivery. These are the steps that we take. So if you are in a project management role, which you are, the first lesson is, I need to be able to listen. I have interviewed hundreds of, or maybe thousands of people in my career. And I see people, sometimes they're too excited about what they have done. But if you cannot listen to the question, and if you cannot process it well, if you cannot deliver your answer in a way that the person who asked the question understands, then what's the benefit of your answer? So listen, process, and then speak. But again, speak with authority. Just last week so happened, somebody called me. Because I also sort of help people in sort of leadership qualities, provide them some consulting services. So he called me. He said, Mahmood, he's one of the vice presidents of his company. He said, I see my people, they're good. They're very good. But somehow, they are perhaps not taking me as their boss. Literally, these were his words. I said, can you elaborate more? What do you mean by that? He said, look, I show you, I have blah, 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 blah. I asked them to deliver, they couldn't. I asked them to give me this report, they didn't. I asked them to complete, have this job done, they didn't. So I don't know what's going on, and why didn't they are all good people? So I basically, one small thing that I told him after talking a lot of other stuff, which we don't have time to discuss today, but I told him, I said, you know what? One is, in the leadership, that people take you as a leader. But there is another side of the same situation as well. You know what's the other side? You need to let people believe in you that you are a leader. You need to let the people believe it. You need to let the people take you as a leader as well. Leadership, yes, you need to have the personality traits, you need to have the qualities and everything that you act as a leader. But at the same time, at times, you need to push the things as well. To let the people, it's like a wake-up call. Let the people believe that you are the person of the situation. You are the leader, and that's very important. So speak with authority when you talk, okay? Okay, these are just few items in the business excellence Number 5 is perhaps the most important thing when it comes to project management. We do a lot of stuff in project management. We take the teams, we draw Gantt charts, we draw schedules, we draw project charters, we talk to the people. We do all kind of good work. But if while I'm walking, if I do not keep sort of pausing for a while and see the track that I have actually walked on, and look ahead and see, am I going the right direction? If I do not do this thing, there's a good chance I'm going to go the wrong direction. So always inspect what you expect. When you're talking to the people, when you're working with the people, make sure they understand what you expect from them. You can test it, you can check it by questioning them, you can check it by through some templates, some other stuff, and if you want, maybe we can later on talk offline and I can share some tricks with you. But the thing is, if you do not make sure what your expectations are being met in the right manner, then my friend, no need to set expectations because you are not inspecting yourself.
Number 3, find the right people. You probably see that in every single presentation. But one of the things that PMs often run into is that organizations are organized in such a way that you often aren't given the choice of the people. Is that? So how? I know you can't get all the right people, but what would be your advice?
Since I came from Saskatoon, I'm from Toronto. I have a couple of engagements going on in Saskatoon, so I'm just basically spending some time there. And every 2 weeks I come back home to meet with my family and then go back. So essentially, if you have the privilege of selecting the people, you need to find the right people to do the job. Their capabilities should be there to do the job. However, at times, we inherit the people, we take the people, we're given the people. You know what? You have this guy, his name is Mahmood. Good or bad, he's your guy. Use it. But then comes my leadership quality. How do we basically motivate the person? How do we see what's good in that person? How do we basically relate the work of the project to the strength of the person? How do we establish a solid line between the capabilities and the deliverables? This comes through my leadership quality. If I have those qualities, which is called resource management, if I can manage my resources in a way that they work in as a team, then I'm a successful manager. But if I could not, then perhaps there's a question mark on my management and leadership qualities. So my friends, yes, if you have the privilege, do the magic. But if you do not, then you still have to do the magic, and that magic is from the other side. That you work with the people, you look what's good in them, you motivate them, you make them understand the accountabilities, you follow it up. The same thing, inspect what you expect, and I'm sure you will have a good result. However, there is always a possibility, despite all the good things that you do, there is a mismatch. There is a mismatch. Then you still have to take a very decision. And the decision will be, perhaps the person is not the right fit. So the person should be doing something else. This is not what the person is capable to. Because as a project manager, if you keep using that resource, you're indirectly defeating the scope of your project. So take the decision quickly. Decision making has to be improved. So use the resources in a way that they're driven and they're productive. But if there's a mismatch, make the change. And that's what called change management. Okay. Last one, keep people informed. Very quickly, team. And very soon I'm going to put them all together. You will have a team if they are together. I mean, if I suppose say, this is Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Ziad, and Mr. Saeed Mohib. These are 3 individuals. These are 3, I'm sorry if I just clicked on the name, but these are 3 individuals. But if I say, guys, this is something we're going to do, and this is what you have to do together. Now they are not Ziad or Muhammad or Saeed. They are a team, because they got the common objective. So they need to work together to achieve that common goal. if they do not understand their responsibilities and accountabilities, then they cannot work as a team. So as a manager, it's my duty to make sure the unity is there, they work together, and they have a common objective. This is why in the project planning we develop those RP charts, accountability, responsibility, and inform. Somebody said, I don't know the name of the person, but I found it somewhere. It's possible to fool yourself. It's very easy. It's possible to fool the people you work for, but it's more difficult to fool the people you work with. My friend, these people who are working with you, don't feel if they come and say, you know what, Mahmood, you're a great guy. Well, I know how great I am. But the thing is, sometimes people may just please you for the sake of pleasing you. You need to be able to understand. And as we always say, when I point out to somebody, I say, this is what you have to do. We always see one finger going to that person, but three fingers coming back to me. That means in this situation, 75% share of the situation is myself. I hold 75% responsibility, even though I keep looking at the 25%. And I say, you know what? You need to fix yourself. But before I say you, I need to use single letter, which is I. And that I happens to have 75% share. So this is why when you are in a team, it's more difficult for the people you work with. It's very, very difficult. These people, they look up to you. They know how to talk, how you're talking, how you're behaving, what are the success stories, and what are the difficulties that you're working with. So if you are capable and able to work with the team in a manner that they work in a team manner, in united manner, then you are a good team manager. It's almost impossible to fool the people who work under you. The thing is, if you are, first of all, I always challenge and question this phrase, you are a born leader. When you call somebody, he or she is a born leader, you know what you are actually saying? You are saying to that person, I know what leadership is. And since you already have those qualities within yourself, maybe as a God-gifted, sort of a personality trait, therefore you are a born leader. But let's not forget, you cannot call anybody as a born leader unless and until the person has certain qualities. So the point goes back to the same thing. You need to have certain qualities, certain personality traits. And those personality traits are the subject of so-called leadership. If the person already has, the person is blessed, God gifted with some of those qualities. There you go. The person is a born leader. But then the environment, the situations, the people, the businesses, the family, friends, they all basically work on those. Sometimes your environment will actually take you back, sometimes take you further. So therefore my mom would always say, you know what, man is known by the company he keeps. Okay, fine. So that's exactly what it is. So man is known by the company that he keeps. So you need to be able to then get close to other leaders. Because when you are getting close to other leaders, you are getting some knowledge. You are getting some sparks from them, and you are basically building within your personality. Okay. This is a good story, very quick. I like stories. I'm sure you will like. The job of a leader. There was a guy, friend, he was elected as a petrol leader. So, the same week he got a job to clean an old cemetery. So what happened? It was the first job that friend got. So he's very excited. He said, yeah, I'm really going to do the magic. I'm going to do something. So what this guy did, okay, he took his petrol with him. He went to the cemetery. So now he's yelling. He is calling the people their names and everything. He just wants to have the job done. Mahmood, you do this thing, this, that. So he is doing everything in his capacity. He's just working like a tiger. But while doing so, he's really putting all the pressure on his team. He's pushing the people. He's doing everything they will be naming. Okay? What happened? His team is kind of, too much, lots of pressures. So they work together. Look, he yelled, he threatened, he called their name. He worked like a tiger. And by the way, the team was able to achieve their goal. They did a good job. They cleaned the cemetery. Okay. This is one. So he is very proud. Yeah, he's very tired, lost his breath. He goes home, he said, thanks God, it was my first assignment, and I got it. After a couple of days, his leader, his petrol leader, he calls him. He said, Frank, how did things go? So first of all, Frank, he's kind of surprised. He knew that the job was done, so why he's asking me? So anyway, he said, job was done. And then his boss, he says, are you sure there was no problem? And now again, Frank is kind of surprised. Why he's asking this question? He should rather be very happy. The job was done. He should come and just pat on my shoulder and say, you know what? Job was done. Instead, he said, are you sure there was no problem? He said, no. But why are you asking me? He said, because some of your people came to me and they were wondering if they could change the team. They could join somebody else. Now, this guy, he got the job done, but he lost his team. But he lost his team. At the same time, there was another guy. He's watching this guy, how he did the job. Now next is his turn. His boss said, okay, you do the job. Different project. So he said, yeah, I remember last time, Frank, he was very rough on his people, and he did all kind of stuff. I will be very soft on my people. So he said, guys, let's go home and first of all eat some snacks. So he ordered pizza, and they enjoy the time. They play soccer. They really had a good time. Unfortunately, they were not able to even start the job. Now, my friends, you have two individuals, both extremes. One got the job done, but he lost his team. The other one, he got his team together. People say, yeah, you are a great guy. But he was not able to even start the job. He couldn't do the job. Which one would you pick? Would you pick the first one who got the job done even though he lost his team? Or the person who could not even start the job even though his team was with him? They say you are a great guy. Who will be your pick? First or second?
Third option.
Neither one of these. Because these are two extremes. So the lesson that we learn from this situation is that you need to be able to understand your team at the same time your strategic objective. Take the team together in a way that you achieve the goal, keeping the team together. Since I have very less time, I will just move very fast. Project management. You use all of these plus many other things. The other day somebody was asking me, Mahmood, the project manager is a center. I said yes. But then you as a project manager, you need to be able to draw the circle. If there is no circle, you are not a center. So if you want to be center, make sure there is a circle. Some people have habit, I happen to be one of those. I can just sit in my office for more than an hour or so. So I'll go and talk with the person, ask about the personal thing. Yeah, I heard that your son was not feeling well a few days back. How is he feeling? That's good. Oh, by the way, you did a good job yesterday. Good, keep it up. When your boss comes and just pat on your shoulder, at least for the next 45 minutes, you are flying in the air. Because your boss has just recognized your good work. So if you feel that way, imagine when you do the same thing to your team, how would they feel? So do the same thing. Please, split your day into different pieces. One of them is appreciation. Show your appreciation. When you show, they give it back to you. Okay. So, the question is, do the project need leaders or managers? Good. So if you look at here, the project manager has, if not all, most of the leadership qualities. So as we said, and I'm sure you all support me, project manager is a manager with leadership qualities. If you don't have it, then God bless you. Okay? So, some leaders, they are known in the history by the actions that they did. Now, this is something copyright. I developed this model almost a few years back, about 3 years back, 2.5 or 3 years back. And I thought this is the right forum to just share with you. Leadership is a package delivery. So when you look at a leader, an individual, so first of all, you look at the head. A leader from the head, the person who can think strategically, He acts proactively. By the way, when I say he, please assume she as well. Okay? So he will think proactively and he fixed today based upon what he learned from yesterday, and definitely tomorrow is going to be better than today. If you have those qualities, that comes from your head. Then your eyes. From the eyes, you see the good things hidden in the people. If you cannot see the good things hidden in the people, then perhaps you do not have that vision. You cannot see beyond the visible. You look at the strength of the people and you utilize them to achieve strategic goals. Then comes your nose. You keep yourself at an appropriate level so you can understand what people are doing. What are the challenges? What are the issues that they have? So you guys understand their personal issues. You offer your assistance to them to mitigate the issues. So this comes from your nose. Ears. You listen carefully. You listen always. Then you comprehend and then you deliver. And you always help proactively. Only if you can listen. Mouth. You speak very gently yet respectfully. You basically communicate in a very, very effective manner. When you speak, people listen to you. If you can speak and people listen and understand, then you are a good communicator. But if people say, what he's saying, then you understand what that means. Hand. You handshake with your people in a partnership basis. They are your partners because they're helping you to achieve your goals of the project. So you handshake in a partnership basis. Your team is your partner and you're working with them. You reach out to people. You're not at a distance. You need me? Come. No. You take the step proactively. Go and talk to the people. Understand their needs. Understand their challenges. Help them. Assist them. Stay with them and live with them. So if you have those from head to toe, you are a walking leader basically. So my friends, as they always say, it's too late when you're this close to the iceberg. Course corrections are easier when you have time to make small changes. If you can make small changes in a timely manner, you can avoid that accident. As our good friend Mr. Gagat, he once said, if you lead your team, look at lead your team, manage your resources, keep your focus, try to do more with the less, and you are on the path to creating lasting legacy for generations to come. And that's exactly what the project management is all about. I thank you for your time and patience. I'm sorry I had to rush for a few slides, but considering those 60 minutes, that's all I could do. Take my number and my email address. You are welcome to call me, write me anytime, and I'll be able to assist you.
So Dr. Khan, before you sit down, on behalf of Lakeshore Chapter and the membership that are here tonight, I'd like to thank you very much for the time you gave us, some key factors in regards to how we could improve walking out there. And perhaps I will take those 1 to 10 items, the eyes, the ears, mouth, nose, whatever, and I will start using them more often. But again, thank you for the confirmation and thank you for the insight to great leadership goals. Thank you very much.